What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, back at it with another review, and the first movie review, full-length movie review of 2025, and yesterday I was able to check out the new Wallace and Gromit movie, Veangence Most Fowl, on Netflix. But before we get into actual beginning of the review, what's up, guys? Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolute freedom to also maybe help with the YouTube algorithm, recommend it to more people, and maybe they could join that. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Wallace and Gromit, Veangence Most Fowl down below. With that being said, guys, let's get into let's give a quick plot synopsis of the movie. So, shall we? So, transition and choose
Gromit's concern that Wallace has become over-dependent on his inventions proves justified when Wallace invents a smart gnome that seems to develop a mind of its own.
Alright, so going into Veangence Most Fowl, I love Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I still think that's a great animated movie. I might have grown up on the, short little animated movies when I was younger. I forgot if I did or not, but I do like the characters of Wallace and Gromit quite a bit. And I found out on that this was actually coming out in January, so I was excited for it to do another Wallace and Gromit sequel, and it came out and on the 3rd, and I sat down and finally watched it, and well, let's just get into my actual thoughts of the movie. So starting off with the claymation animation, and in recent years, claymation has started to make a comeback, and I think it's a very
unique animation nowadays compared to other movies and TV shows like the Spider-Verse films, Arcane, and a whole bunch of others, but this is very unique compared to those films, where the clay figures have so much detail every single time.
I would definitely want to see more stop-motion movies as well come out every single year. Don't get me wrong, we had Memoir of a Snail come out last year, which I did not see, but that came out, and also the Chicken Run sequel came out 2023, which I still have not seen, which I should have seen anyways. Also this one, it's just a positive from a fan's perspective. They kept the old theme song, the the main theme song. They kept that, which I'm glad they did, because that theme song I think is perfect for the movies. And then, another good in here, I have the comedy. I think the comedy still lands. Wallace and Gromit usually always land with the comedy in here, in all the movies that I've seen with them. While the comedy's still not as good as Curse of the Were-Rabbit, in my personal opinion, I still thought it was good, and I actually laughed a couple times while watching the movie, because I'm a guy that doesn't really laugh as often anymore. When it comes to comedy for movies, so that was good. So yeah. Another good, the subplot with Wallace and Wallace and the after effects of the gnomes. Of course, I can't really talk about this that much because spoiler territory, of course. But I think Wallace's little storyline that he has that ties into the gnomes, I think is really good. I think it was a pretty solid way to add to the story. Another one, the voice acting from Ben Whitehead as Wallace, Peter Kay as the Chief Inspector, and Reese Shearsmith as Norbot. Yeah, so the voice acting in here is still great.
This time around, you actually have a different voice actor for Wallace, becoming the new voice actor after the great Peter Sallis. And he actually still sounds like the old Wallace, so I think he did a really good job at capturing that essence.
And the final good I have in here is the teases for what's to come. I have no clue if they're going to actually make any more Wallace and Gromit movies straight to Netflix, but if they are, I think the ending does end perfectly, and it does set up future sequels down the road. Now that is the good done. Now let's go into the mixed aspects. And I only have one, and that is the garden gnome plot. I originally talked about this as a negative in my short initial reaction yesterday. And over time, I think it is a good version of like an evil AI subplot. Not subplot, a main plot, I should say. I think it is a good version of that sort of particular story. However, it's just a cliche we've seen multiple times on every single other movies, which that makes the movie a little too familiar and reminiscent of other things. So, but overall, it is used very well. So that's why it's in the mix, because even though it's done before so many times, it's still used really well. Excuse me. Now, unfortunately, we move on to the bad. And the first bad I have in here is the use of Feathers McGraw, which I know that might be blasphemy because I think a couple of the fans will probably enjoy how they use Feather McGraw in this one. I wasn't too familiar with the character of Feather McGraw, so I'm pretty sure he's in a couple of the original animated short films in here. But this one kind of feels like
they do it where he's kind of like sidelined for the gnome plot, even though he is the main big bad behind it all. And I just find it very odd that they decided to bring him back.
So overall, really wasn't a big fan of that, unfortunately. Another bad in here is the familiarity. It is very reminiscent of other movies. So that's like a very small negative. It's very reminiscent of other films. So there's that. And also, it felt as if it dragged a couple points in the film in the middle part, or one or two times. Don't get me wrong, the movie's still entertaining most of that time, but there is like a point. I think the beginning was a little slow for like 5 minutes, but besides that, it's still a really entertaining movie. So, and I think it is a great Wallace and Gromit follow-up. So with that being said, let's just bring out the toxic meter. And I will give Wallace and Gromit Veangence Most Fowl, the first movie review of 2025. I will give it a toxic goodness and not toxic, an A-. And overall, great way to start off 2025's movie season. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is just my thoughts on Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Veangence Most Fowl. You get it. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on the film down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace out.